speaking on what happened was, it was a lot of yelling, a lot of people upset, a lot of reforms being put on the table during George Floyd. But I was looking around for a document that really was speaking on what's the needs in the community and what do we need across the board, not just from government, but from the private sector too. Because there's a lot of companies that are involved in our pain, and they got to pay up too. They owe us reparations as well in some shape or form. So it was nothing. I was looking around. I'm like, damn, where is the document? Where is the ask? What are we asking for as a people across the board that deals with not only police brutality, but all our needs? So I started working on it myself with, some smart people I know. We end up getting, economists involved, people like Derek Hamilton. We started to go and just find the smartest minds to help try to put a document together so we can actually have something to say, damn, all this is things we need. This is so anybody Black could look at our document.
Yeah, I'm gonna really speed this up because it's really not that important. But the two horns, just pretend like he speaks as a lamb, but he really is a dragon.
And say, yeah, support this, support, some of the things that we have. Now, I'm not a politician, and I shouldn't be the one to have to put this thing together. We've had politicians in place for a long time, and they haven't come up with something like this. So I was surprised, but that didn't stop me. And we put that together July 1st, and we revamped it about, let me get the timeline here. We revamped it July 19th. And from then, people wanted to interview me about it. So I went on just promoting the contract with Black America, hoping to be contacted by any of the politicians saying, yo, this is a great idea. Everybody that I would show would say, oh, these are great ideas. This is common sense. This is things that should be in place already, but they're not. So I was just kind of saying, okay, starting an initiative. And I'll make a long story short. I was just going up, basically saying, okay, we're gonna go after the private sector. We're gonna go after the banks. We're gonna go after Hollywood. We're gonna go after the people that we know got their hands in the cookie jar. You know what I mean? So then we started to get contacted from the Democrats on September 8th. And then we started talking to them. Mm-hmm. Then we got contacted by the Republicans. So that's when the ball started rolling then. So it's not just like I just jumped into anything. I mean, I just did the contract and then people started to contact me, not the other way around. I was hoping the Democrats would be all over me. But that wasn't the case. And I understand it wasn't like I was throwing a fit. I just was like, okay, we're going at the private sector. And then the Republicans contacted me. And to me, if you speak it for Black people, you should speak to whoever is in power or about to be in power.
And I think you had a statistic. You said something about there has been 7,000 Black people elected, and you felt like in offices for us, and you felt like they ain't made a change. We've not come far at all with 7,000 of us in.
And you felt like that and made a change.
There. What are we going to do? Who is going to take this and say, okay, I'll be in the front line of this, and then get in the front line and have everybody come on board with you? Because let's be honest, you are Ice Cube, and you do have a huge platform. So I would say that for me to know that you've been using your platform to be able to have an initiative like that.
What do you mean platform? My name is Ice Cube. I make rap music. How many people who really listen to Ice Cube really know about this? And it's his platform, right? But you actually have a real platform. Queens, we know what Queens mean. You have a platform. You can do the research. You got a TV behind you. You got news people. You could actually use to real help you. But listen to what she says.
I think it's worth you doing the interviews that you're doing and letting everybody know and hear your voice on.
I want to jump in and say I just don't think it's that fair to the 7,000 of Black elected officials that have been in office.
Right, to say that they've done nothing.
Yeah, because I think that is. I think that's
okay. Now listen. So these people were voted in, made real promises to the community. They feel like it's not wrong to blame them for anything that they have been elected to do and bumping shoulders and actually getting paid and receiving how type of money to just continue and to docile their people and just to fluoridate their people. That's what I'm calling when you just make people docile. You fluoridate
to walk down, because as we saw with
a lot of progress has been made.
It's not as simple as you get elected and bam, you can make all these changes one man.
Right.
I never said that 7,000 people, Black people, have never did anything. I said that since the 60s, there's been over 7,000 Black politicians elected in prominent positions. And our situation, as far as the wealth gap hasn't changed. We flatlined from the 60s to now. We have not gained or closed the wealth gap. So that's the major problem. I understand we got a lot of people, working hard for progress. That just the facts are it hasn't happened in the traditional way. So that's why I want to break the mold.
So I just want to say, first of all, there's this whole cancel culture that we have. First of all, anybody canceling no damn Ice Cube. Let me just say that first, not the gate. This is NWA.
Thank you.
He was the first to say fuck the police, so go sit down. Nobody's canceling Ice Cube, and if you are canceling, that's fucking stupid. Second of all, I do think that it is very good that you are taking an initiative to, and I like how you say bipartisan, because that means both parties. This is for both parties. We want both parties to jump onto this. This is not just, this person.
And what? Is he supposed to just go to one party? And what we know, this really doesn't mean anything, right? But, whoa. I just saw a chariot, bro. Just fly through the sky. KAL HALAL YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Whoa. Just saw a zoom, so I'm sorry I can't, record it. Yeah. HALAL YAHAWAH.
That person. We want everybody to grab a hold on to what African American people need singularly. And I remember we talked about this on Cocktails. Remember, Lisa Ray, when you asked the question before, you were like, well, who's going to do something? Who's going to lead singularly for African Americans? Now, I do know that there have been tons of initiatives. CDC has initiatives all the time. Congressional Black Caucus, the Nation of Islam, right here, National Agenda. They've had an entire agenda that happened right after the Million Man March. It was presented to what's the name? The president that was in Clinton. It was presented to the Clinton administration. So we have tried. There has been trying going on. But
So did he say trying, or is he talking about condition? So now she's saying, oh, there have been trying of real organizations that have been around, had been money, had not the support that we have for social rights, but they had the 1960s support for social rights. See that?
One thing I do like about your initiative is that it is singular to Black people. That wealth gap is a fool, and it does need to be fixed immediately.
And she likes that it's singular to Black people.
Here's my question. I watched you on the Black Report the other day, on Friday, and they asked you, hey, Q, what do you think about, when you see the Black man march, and how does that make you feel? And you said something that was really profound and stood out to me. You said, you know what? I wish that Black people and Black men could watch this over again and get back to this, because you said, even myself, we need to get back to this type of unity, this type of connecting. And so my thing is, let's say whoever get in office, it ain't gonna matter. The initiative is set, and then it's like nothing's happening, or something is happening, whatever, it's there.
See, when Black people were segregated as a community, they're integrated. When they're segregated from the white community, they were integrated as a community. But when they were integrated to the white community, they were segregated from themselves.
Now, let's say they give us all the $500 billion that we asked for. Do you honestly think, and I'm not even trying to be funny or trying to catch nobody up, and I'm just asking like a real question. With the state of how our community is already broken, how we already have PTSD, how we already are not connecting already interculturally, the infrastructure of African Americans in general is just jammed up with or without money. Do you think, and what could be the process of once we get this money, of implementing it properly into our communities and really being able to allocate it where it makes sense and matters, and what's going to be necessary for that to happen?
Well, what I said on the show about the Million Man March was the fact that it was the Million Man March, but it was a day of atonement. It was a day where we were going to bury the hatchet with each other. It was the day when we were supposed to go back to our neighborhood kind of as new people and try to, make
bury the hatchet, go together as new people,
make things better. And, it just didn't happen the way, we all envisioned it. But that don't mean we can't start. We do need financial help in our communities, but we also got to make a commitment to ourselves to clean up ourselves. Even by this society, we've been poisoned by trying to live like the people who've had us oppressed, and what they are attracted to, we're attracted to. We got to come out of that. We got to be our own people with our own flavor, our own style, our own
you're Israelite
morals, and we got to flip it. I'm not Mr. Holy. I'm guilty of it too. So it's something we all have to start doing to clean ourselves up. But I think the key is to try to get the money in the hands of people who are doing things, who are trying to be on the right side, the progressive people, the people who are business owners, people who want to own homes, people who want to beautify their homes, so clean the community up. I also think the government has a job too. Why you use the armies just to come in and put guns on us and make sure we're not protesting? Why you don't use the armies to come fix fences and roofs and paint walls and do things to beautify the neighborhood? It's like they got to rethink how government works for the people. And
is in there right now, hasn't done it for the past 3.5 years.
Pressure points, and you're gonna have to use leverage to do things to beautify the neighborhood. It's like they got to rethink how government works for the people, and they're not going to do it using the same old ways. You're going to have to push them. You're going to have to find pressure points, and you're going to have to use leverage when it's time.
I just got to make a quick statement though, Q.
Go ahead.
If the administration that is in there right now hasn't done it for the past 3.5 years, what do you think is going to make them start in the next 4 years that they are given more during a pandemic? I know you got to take a break, hold that thought, but I just got to ask that and make that statement, because you can't make them all of that, and they've been there for 3.5 years. So
yeah, I ain't trying to make them do nothing. So
we need them to do something.
Do we need them to do something? You don't have this pressure for Obama. You don't have this pressure for Biden. You see how Biden was? Oh, this nigga was an SJW. I forgot that Jim go Joe. Where all that shit go? He signed the Asian bills before you get your bill. Where does pressure at?
A quick break. A lot of gems being dropped here. We'll be back with more Cocktails with the Queens when we return. That's break. With 2 weeks before the election, I understand ICE been working with this since June, July, but we're hearing about it now, so it looks really. I think it looks very. Yeah, like I feel like I don't, and I know this isn't your intention, but I feel like how they use us all the damn time.
Well, I mean, both sides use celebrities.
You know how they use us. Both sides use celebrities. No, these women aren't being used, bro.
But check this out. The thing is this. I'm not here saying he's going to do anything. But he didn't make a promise to me. He made a campaign promise to the world. So he's on record for that. Now, we wanted Joe Biden on record. He has a plan, but I don't know if his plan really pinpoints Black people. So we want a plan that pinpoints Black people. We don't know if any of them are going to do it. But when you have a person on record as a campaign promise, you have more to go at him with, because he's told the world this is what he's going to do, and if he doesn't deliver, he looks bad to everybody. Now, why hasn't dude done it in 3 years? I don't know. Nobody's been pressing him. Everybody's been like, he's the boogeyman run, and nobody's been pressing him on behalf of Black people, because we've been just waiting for Democrats to get back in.
I do not agree with you on that statement. There's been a lot of people that have asked him, what about the wall? What about the kids' cages? I mean, there's a lot of things.
I understand that.
I'm not going to give.
Is that specific to the Black community? You know what I mean? What about the kids? What about the cages? They ain't pushing Joe Biden. I mean, we know that the people that they're talking about would be considered so-called black, but specifically to this conversation, you know what I mean? I see how they're conflating these issues.
Him no plus
I
signs
understand that,
whatsoever.
but check this out. I'm talking about pressing him to give things to black people. These are country issues. I'm talking about black people pressing him to give things to black people. Everybody treated him like a boogeyman. Nobody would go and press him to give things to black people. The stuff that he's doing to the rest of the country, I understand that, but we raggedy. We got to get our.
But other people are fine people. I mean, is that right? I mean, and
look,
he wants to announce to people that hurt us and suppress us, and that and then the policeman had his neck on somebody's neck for 9 minutes. He never support them. I mean.
I'm not here to fight about what he did, what he didn't do. Is he a good white man? Is he a bad white man? To me, they pretty much all the same. So now,
I don't agree with that.
That said,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. She's one of those, bro. Don't trust none of the figures they show you in school. They gonna hit you with a, you know, when she said, Quaker is almost as good as the colored. They call themselves friends. You can trust them every time. See how these people see Kanye West was he be tweaking, but he was writing nonsense of how she was really taking them to a different slave owner so they could weaken the Southern system and strengthen their new Emancipation Proclamation system, which is the Willie Lynch system. So what's her name? Harriet Tubman was bringing people into the Willie Lynch system so they wouldn't run away, so you wouldn't have to burn these people.
But look, I know we've had all kind of presidents, and our situation hasn't changed. So that's why I said you're pretty much all the same when it comes to a president and dealing with our situation.
So I gotta ask this question. Because you're on the show with Cocktails with the Queens, and there's a reason for that. It wasn't to have you defend or not defend Donald Trump. It was about I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women, and it's not we're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America.
I mean, when you mention black people, you mention black women, so don't count yourself out.
No, that's not true. That's like administration say that when they
black women, not women.
What's in this contract with Black America?
It's Micah 7 and 10. It said, then she, actually, no, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I've sinned against him, and until he plead my case and execute judgment for me. So until we are delivered, until we get that new body, until that standard is lifted, he will bring forth the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. Then she that is mine enemy shall see it, and the same shall cover her, which said unto her, where is the Lord Yahawah, thy power? Thine enemy of mine eyes shall behold her. Now she is trodden down like the mire in the street. The mire's like it's kind of like quicksand, but it's like muddy. So it took 30 people to pull Jeremiah out. So she gonna get stepped on and gonna feel like she gonna need 30 people to pull her out, or you know what I mean, that spiritual power. But you don't watch her be an enemy so long. Who knows, bro? She's not saying that she's my enemy. She's saying, oh, black people not necessarily. What do you mean? See, look at this woman. That was an utter embarrassment, especially Vivica A. Fox's behavior. There's nothing queen-like. There's nothing queen-like about her, or anything in her behavior. This is another court jester behaving for the Democratic Party. Okay. No, this is Q-U-E-N. She said, this is nothing queen-like. This is very queen-like. What do you mean? Queen. Q-U-E-N. Queen. What's how you say it? Oh, unavailable, but it's queen. A woman regarded as disreputable, especially a prostitute, a young woman, a female who's considered without, regardless of qualities or position, henceforth generally slight usage. So this is very queen-like. Fuck. Very queen-like.
For for women, and it's not. We're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America.
You are mentioned. I mean, when you mention black people, you mention black women. So don't count yourself
no,
out.
that's not true.
That's like administration say that when
Black
they
people is not black women. Black women are not included in black people.
No,
Come on, ladies.
that's what you're saying. That's like when the president says minorities, then he's including black people. But we all know that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met, and we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to us in our plight as well. And I feel like as a black man, you can leave.
No,
I feel like
I just offered y'all to write a section up for it. I just said I don't mind.
Yeah, now, so now, right, he's saying, hey, like, you see how they gave all these politicians these passes and said, oh, you can't say that they were doing nothing, and da-da-da-da-da. Say they did something that specifically helped black men for their contribution to them, it doesn't count. But see how they come for him. Now watch as he flips the table and he offers them an opportunity to help, like he's saying, I'm not the masterpiece, I am just a celebrity. They're talking about his platform, when all he is a rich man using his resources. He's not making a movie. This is not a movie. This is not Players Club. This is not a movie. This is brand new to him. But y'all have more. Y'all have political connections. Y'all on the TV. This is the Queens. Now he offers them to put their input. And they won't say nothing, bro. These women are paid. But don't be surprised if these women are not paid out to be like this. Because, hey, or even if they're paid out, they enjoy it. They still think they're on the right side.
You guys help us write a section. I've been open to all kind of experts in putting this together. It wasn't just me. We dealt with experts in all fields of this contract with Black America.
Experts in these fields.
We're willing to deal with experts in the section when it comes to women. So that's no problem.
Okay,
I'll help you write it. I'll help you write it.
Say you do get the money. How soon do you think your plan is going to go into effect? When will we start seeing the benefits?
As soon as you get the money, nigga, say this shit to Joe Biden. Go say this to the fucking president. This isn't, as soon as he gets the money, nigga, this ain't his bill that he don't put in the community, nigga, this is him trying to get the president accountable, so whether they agree or they do not say that, they hold him. Nigga, look, nigga, Obama was able to Obama G. No, all this shit playing, bro. Obama fucking G, because Obama was able to be a black president, and he literally slid through this, bro. He slid through this. Even though she was getting around, he started moonwalking. He moonwalked right through this, bro. That's why you'll never have a black president again. Because the type of shit that's going on, if you had a black president that's sitting here in Kunin, nigga, the black community would be up in an uproar.
I'm not getting 1 quarter. Okay, this is something he's promising to the country, and he's gonna have to implement it in a way he feel that can fit.
Okay, but can I just ask though, what would you see this plan doing for the first year for us if he's reelected? I'm
not part of the administration.
Well,
I'm not here. I'm here for black people. I'm here to talk to both administrations about the contract with Black America. The Platinum Plan is not mine. Didn't name it. Didn't put it together. All I did was meet about the contract with Black America. They added some things, and I'm willing to meet with both sides. They can add some things or not. It's fine.
I mean, they ran off immediately and did statements. And you're basically a Republican now.
That's on them. That ain't on me.
Okay.
That's on them. That's not on me.
I just want to make sure. We just want to
We can all talk at the same time. I got to ask a question, y'all. With over 20,000 lies told to the American people by this president, I'm a former friend of Donald Trump. I work with them. I made money with him. Personally, it would have served me better to still stay on his side. Why would you?
Huh? Then you would be on our side. But Bill's gonna hit the wall. Her going, personal friend, but it made me more money.
Believe after he gets black votes, his whole goal from 3 years ago was to siphon 20% of black male votes to cross over to vote to support him. Why would we believe that he has, once he gets reelected, he will follow through with any of these plans, as opposed to Joe Biden and Kamala, who would be in their first term and be more indebted to do the right thing to get reelected for a second term? Right. Why should we believe?
See? Kamala said she don't even give a fuck about the immigrants no more. she said stay home.
Why should we believe that Donald Trump would actually follow through? That's a legit question that I have.
He ain't followed through.
I mean, I don't know. You're gonna have to figure that out, because I'm not sure if he's gonna do it or not. I'm not sure what any of these guys are gonna do. All I know is we got to push our agenda, no matter who's in there. And I would, in a perfect world, the Biden campaign would have brought me in. We would have really talked about the plan, and they would have did great things to their plans to specifically target black people. But they chose not to, and that's fine. But the thing is, I'm not a supporter of neither one of them.
No,
so that's what's the problem. I'm an independent person.
You'll have a conversation with the administration if Biden wins and Kamala wins. It's not too late, so I don't think it's fair to dismiss what they.
It's a thing when it's not too late. Yeah, they already got you fucking niggas, bro. Bro.
They're not empowered yet. So they really can't say and promise things, so they're not yet empowered. We're not even empowered in Congress.
You can't make campaign promises.
So why
and they have. That's what the plan.
Make the promise when they're in office.
Well, they put out the Lift Every Voice Can Sing plan. That is their promise to America and to the world. That is their promise. So the thing is, you can always promise the people who put you in power something more than what you just came up with. You got to, especially when you know there's so much more that needs to be done. And he knows that it's so much that falls short in that plan when it comes to actually helping black people, minority, people of color, diversity. All those are trick words, and black people don't necessarily get a tenth of that. So we have to really be smart and really make sure that that money is touching the hands of the people who have really struggled.
And to be fair, they're not the power and party right now. I want to ask you this if this is true, because I had heard from one of my sources that you were contacted for the Zoom call with Kamala Harris, with D.L. Hughley, Snoop Dogg, you, Killer Mike. They were all on the call and you were not on the call. And that was...
Nigga, if I'm talking about my specific plan, I got professionals out here, and the fuck you want to bring, listen to this.
Power and party right now. I want to ask you this if this is true, because I had heard from one of my sources that you were contacted for the Zoom call with Kamala Harris, with D.L. Hughley, Snoop Dogg, you, Killer Mike. They were all on the call and you were not on the call. And
fuck out of here, nigga. Fuck out of here. This is not me.
Well, we had spent, a lot of people time putting a contract with Black America together. And, I just thought that getting on a Zoom call with 12 other entertainers, all shooting what they believe needs to be done, to me wasn't going to be productive. And I was also, because my lawyer, Matt Johnson, has a connection with Kamala Harris, and I was promised a call that I never received. So, that's why I didn't feel like I wanted to be on that Zoom call. So I feel like our plan is so broad that you can't talk about it with 12 other people who had nothing to do with it. And these are a lot of things that really need to get done. So I wanted to have a serious conversation and not just a rally cry kind of conversation.
But you said also you could talk to anyone that was willing to help. You said you were.
I am, but I just said that they said they were going to call me direct, and I never got that call. So when you hear that, you're waiting for that call. It never came.
So no kind of way don't work if it's not the way that you started. You want, yeah.
Well, I want to get things done. I don't want to.
See how I thought she was coming sensible. You see how she's crazy, bro. I hope she get drawn down.
Just spin my wheels, talk to people who can't really make it happen. So I didn't want to just. Well,
the vice president.
I was finna exit out of this. This is long. I was finna exit out of this, but I want you to see this.
Listen, because I had the conversation. When I had the Zoom call with the DNC, the Democratic Party, we was on the call for probably over 45 minutes, and we never even got to the contract with Black America. We never went through any other points that needs to be dealt with when it comes to the situation in this country. No one else has a plan that deals with as many issues that this administration or any administration could fix if they had the political will, and you have to give them the political will, and that's what's being done. So I didn't want to put anybody on blast for that, but since they saying I didn't jump on the call, it's because I was promised a call where we can actually deal with this in a serious manner, and it wasn't just what I considered a rally call.
But I feel like that actually could have been okay, because you could have led the call and had supporters on listening to what it was that you were trying to get them to be able to help rally with the initiative for that.
I had been doing press about the contract of Black America outside of that, so I was using my press to promote the contract, not just to them dudes on the call, but to all of America, to all of Black America. That's where my thing is. So I wasn't on the call, but that don't mean we couldn't have a call. So that's what happened. And I don't feel like I made a mistake for not being on the call.
I will tell you, we have to wrap the show. We're way over, but I just want to say, Cube, I hear what you're saying, but I just want you to know, as Black women, how we would feel with, there's no mention specifically of Black women in the contract of Black America. They do. You're
staying on top of that. I just told you can write that up. If you
we're not out here jumping on calls.
We all Black, so we all.
We're not meeting with Jared Kushner and Donald Trump about this. You are. So you can't say, well, if you don't like it, add to it. You're out here. You took that job. You took that position.
I'll write up the Black woman's part of the contract for you. And how many words do y'all want it to be? The thing is, you guys are the experts, but here we go again. You just want to talk. Nobody want to help me. Just want to talk. But y'all the experts on Black women, so why won't y'all help me? See, that's the problem.
We're way over. I wish we would have you for more time, because I feel like you have a lot to say, Ice Cube, and you're very influential, and we appreciate this. And I hope we can respectfully debate and no feelings hurt. I don't think you are the type that would get hurt. I appreciate y'all. I wish we could have you back and have more of this conversation. Would you be open to come back here?
Of course, we family, and can't nobody hurt my family. Can't hurt my feelings.
That's it. Because we're running out of time, Ice Cube, I would like to say right now, to be fair to you, and we really wanted to dig deep about the Black woman part. I think that's very important, and to lift every voice part versus the contract with Black America. I feel like there's more on the table, and I don't want to be disrespectful to your perspective and to the perspective of Black women. I would love to invite you back before the election. If you have time, I would love to do that for part 2 with Ice Cube. We got to break now.
No problem.
Brother, I know your intent is good. We just don't like who you rocking with, but we know your intent.
I ain't rocking with nobody.
We don't see y'all. We don't see.
See, the woman answered. He offered them to write a contract specifically for Black women. You may say, no, you do it. Next thing he comes up with, and then they say something that they claim is not enough, or they claim that he offered to pen a section, he wrote it himself. So he says, hey, why don't you write it? No, you do it. He writes that. Oh, you're mansplaining as we Black men. You're gonna be crazy, bro. That's it, bro. That shit was hard to sit through, bro. But I couldn't even leave, bro.
This past year has not been easy, to say the least. So, as a fan.
Hi guys, welcome back. back to the channel. I'm Dava from the Life of Joshua and Dava, and I'm here today to speak with my lady, so that's why I'm alone today. My husband is off doing some kind of work. He's always working, always trying to make that guap, so good for us. Anyway, so I want to talk to you guys today about the subject of what I titled this, which is why I have a preference for white men. I don't date black men, never have, never will. See, I've seen a lot of videos circulating around. I watched this video right here. And to be honest with you, it was a great video, gorgeous young lady. Loved the video, but I gotta tell you that I do not have a similar story at all. In fact, I just don't like them. I'm just not attracted to them, never been attracted to them. I know people like to say, but your dad's black, your brother's black. Well, I don't want to sleep with my dad or my brother, so there you go. I just find nothing attractive about do-rags. I find nothing attractive about your pants sagging. To me, do-rags, in fact, are the equivalent of bonnets, if not worse. So while men are worried about black women and their bonnets, what about your do-rags and your doopy drawers that are being shown because you're dragging your pants everywhere, you know? Yeah. That's generally how I feel about that subject. But anyway, my point is, I've just never been attracted to it.
I don't care how much is a man sagging. You still see more ass coming from the average woman than you see from a man.
I'm not attracted to gangster culture. I have nothing in common with that. I like to read books. I am very scholarly. That's how I was in high school. Like, I would hold hands with guys. I would talk to guys. But the minute they wanted anything else, it was done for me. Like, I've never been with a black guy physically before, other than, like, a little high school boyfriend here and there. But, again, nothing ever got physical. And I've just never been attracted to him. So, black men like to say, particularly Godfrey, for instance, that black women are only with white men because...
Yeah, you kept hopping into relationships that you never wanted to get physically sexual. You never wanted to get sexual with. Like, they wanted to hold your hand. They wanted to show you affection. You was willing to hold hand to be publicly seen, but as soon as they wanted to take a step further, you just pulled out every time, right?
To be honest with you, I completely disagree. I'm not with my husband because I was traumatized. I'm just attracted to him. He's just hot. Yes, see that face? That's hot, right? Hot, nice, confident. But when he gets angry, which is even more hot, let me tell you, he's not anything to play with, you know? So, again, hot.
See how that shit hot, but if she was with a black man, that anger ain't cool.
And I know that everybody's going to be like, well, still, those black guys didn't pay you any attention. No, not the case. You get catcalls all the time. You can't even walk outside or be minding your own business without somebody on the construction crew catcalling you, following you. You're trying to walk up the stairs after you've been out walking, or you're trying to exercise because, you know, I'm on a weight loss journey. While being thick is awesome and great, I want to be healthy and live for a long time. But you can't even go walk and exercise without one of these disgusting men catcalling you, following you. I've had one try to follow me home once, but luckily I live in an area that is highly, like, secured. We can't afford to be highly secured, trust and believe me. So we live in one of those areas, so, you know, he flew away, like the dusty that he was, like he blew away in the wind. But at the same time, it was very scary because I know how these men are. They're very violent. So, now, but does that mean I'm traumatized? No, that just means I know that they're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and I stay away. And that's not all, because I know they love that, not all of us stuff, but they have no problem saying all when it comes to the bonnets and all this stuff, so very interesting. But anyway, so my attraction just comes from being attracted to them, not from being lonely, not from wanting a man and not being able to get one. And to be honest with you, I think that the biggest trauma for black men is actually being in black love, in my personal opinion. Now, while I've never been in black love, I see movies. Have you seen any movie where a black woman is not suffering because of a black man? Like, no matter what movie it is, if it's a black movie, the black man is always beating this woman down. Any Tyler Perry movie you see, I mean, in this one...
You're inspiration to Gen Z.
I mean, my goodness. And who did he drag her out for? Some racially ambiguous lady. Yeah. So they're worried about the white man, but he wanted to get something as close to or adjacent to white as possible. Embarrassing. Isn't that what that lady says? Isn't that just embarrassing? Well, anyway, that's exactly what they turn around and did. So then there's a thin line between love and hate, and let's be real here. Martin Lawrence in that movie deserved everything that Lynn Whitfield did to him. He manipulated this woman, he gaslit her, he coerced her basically into a relationship, sexual relationship, using whatever bond they had. And then when she snaps, after he does all this emotional and mental abuse to her.
See how black women really be picking shit from movies? Bro, black women be looking for traumatic experience to use. Should be hilarious, bro. Shit crazy. Okay, bro. But if she want it, bro, she can't have it. But just remember, when the shit,
Family.
when second Ezra's 15 break out, we'll see how that shit work for her. Second Ezra's 15:4 says, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon you, the sword of famine, destruction, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more touching their wickedness, which profane commit. Either will have them suffered in those things which are wickedly exercised. Behold, the innocence and cried unto me, and the soul of them complained continuously. Therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive them in my blood of my upon me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them to live in Egypt anymore. It said, woe. It said, woe to the world and them that dwell in there. For the sword of their destruction draweth nigh. One people shall stand up and fighting another, swords in their hands. Therefore there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their hand. A man shall desire to go into a city. For because of the pride of the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, the men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy the houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of the lack of the breed and the tribulation. Therefore, behold, saith God, I will call the kings. Is she talking? Oh, I like them when he hot. When this shit get lit, bro. Fuck it, bro. Yeah, shorty, like, you're cool when you're the only girl available. No other white women like me, but when there's famine out here, and when you're more food, than anything, when I could just go take the next man's wife in the next house over, and I go, what does he have to do with you? And I'm not saying, like, a man or gorgeous, like that, but you know how wicked it is. Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou have made thyself like unto her, has decked thy daughters in whoredom, and that they might please and glory their lovers, which desired to commit whoredom with thee. What was I looking for? It's being weird. Okay, I said. And he called unto them and said unto them in parable, how can Satan cast out Satan? If the kingdom is heaven divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. Oh no, I'm saying, if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. If Satan rise against himself, if Satan rise against himself and and be divided, he cannot stand. No man shall enter a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man, and he will spoil his goods. It says, Satan, adversary, the ones who opposes another for the purpose to act, a name given to, princes of evil, the innate adversary of God, of Yahweh, and Hamashiach, the anointed. He incites apostrophes. Satan, men like. But what does it say? How long will thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing on the earth. A woman shall surpass a man, bro. This was not known. This was not, this is our punishment, bro. This is our punishment. We got to deal with wildebeests like that. Talking about how they hate black men. Hey, it's cool, bro. I ain't tripping. And black women made in the garden.
Yo, what's good, YouTube? BSP back again with another video. This video is Black Lives Matter scrubbing and washing their website of anything that has to do with disrupting the nuclear family, getting rid of traditional American values, and just rejecting Western culture. They got rid of it on their website. They got rid of it on their website, okay? So if you go on their website, you won't see any of that rhetoric anymore. And the reason why is because they're losing support. They're losing that money that they were getting from these Democrats and these corporations that are pretty much funding these bozos. They're losing support, okay? Because at first their approval was very high, okay? It was like in the 70s, all right? And now it has gone down. It's gone down lower than what it started before the George Floyd riots, okay? People were in support of Black Lives Matter during the George Floyd incident, and then they started rioting, all right? And Tim Pool says it best. If you give a far leftist a foot, they're going to take it a mile. And that's exactly what they did. They took it a mile and they overstayed their welcome. And it's just hilarious to me, and it's glorious. And even the sporting world is feeling it. The sporting world is feeling it. Their ratings are going down every week. It's hilarious to me. I mean, you could go from the NFL to the NBA. All their primetime games have been gone down the shitter as far as ratings go. I mean, even the Emmys, which is nothing but a big virtue signaling clown show, okay? And that has been record low ratings. So it's a beautiful thing to see. And patriots are finally standing up and going against and talking and making their voices heard, okay? They're not giving them their viewership. They're not giving them their money. They're pretty much just standing up.
Or Kun, if he refers to himself as a patriot.
And rejecting the Black Lives Matter narrative. They're rejecting the Black Lives Matter propaganda. And it's a beautiful thing to see. The Democrats are steadily declining in the polls. Donald Trump is gaining. He's actually gaining amongst a lot of minorities, which is funny. And it's a beautiful thing. So I think a lot of it has to do with the rejection of this Black Lives Matter propaganda. And like I said, I can't say it enough. It's a beautiful thing. The NBA, nobody watches them anymore. The NFL, people are starting to tune out. Every single sporting event that you see, people are starting to tune out. Any sporting event.
Yeah, he looked like a coon. Yeah, he could. If you woe to them who trust in the shadow of Egypt. You know what I mean?
The Black Lives Matter Foundation, right on their website, says that they aim at deconstructing the Western prescribed traditional family structure, excluding fathers specifically. Now, I don't know if you want to support a movement like that. I certainly don't. This movement is now more well-funded than ever, and basically what Tucker Carlson said was that it's not about black lives to them. And this is true. I mean, it's very apparent, and I'm going to prove that to you today. I mean, just look at what happened in Chicago, and I keep saying this, but it's very important to keep repeating this, because in Chicago, 85 people were shot and 18 people were killed in a 24-hour period. Just look at what's happening in New York City. Look at what's happening in Los Angeles, where they had, I think it was like 150% increase in crime there. Look at what's happening in cities all across the nation, where multiple black victims, multiple black lives are being taken by other black Americans, and we don't see anyone from Black Lives Matter marching. In fact, they're...
I don't know how you're gonna march against gangsters and drug dealers that Esau put in the community, but I don't know how that makes sense. But you know.
Hello and welcome back to Outsiders. I'm James Morrow here with Rita Panahy and Rowan Dean. And today I'm going to share with you some new, disturbing information about the Black Lives Matter movement, and particularly its leaders, who tell us that they are all about peace and justice, but in fact have ties to Marxists, racists, and even domestic terrorists. Now, of course, the reason why Black Lives Matter has become so powerful is because it has picked a name that is impossible to challenge. So let's get this out of the way at the start. As a statement of fact, of course Black Lives Matter. Let's also be clear that racism is evil and should always be opposed. And just to underline these points, no one should cynically seek to hijack these ideas to give cover to their own revolutionary and indeed racist political programs, which is sadly exactly what Black Lives Matter is doing today. Now, we already know that the Black Lives Matter political program is, in truth, more about ending capitalism and democracy and even the nuclear family. Yes, it's right there in its manifesto, you can look it up, than it is about ending racism. Recall a couple of weeks ago on this program, we shared with you a video of a Black Lives Matter co-founder, Patrisse Cullors, bragging about being schooled in the ways of Marxism.
I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories.
Which is bad enough, but it turns out that Black Lives Matter's message of racial harmony isn't quite what it seems either. Take a look, for example, at what Yusra Kogali, co-founder of Black Lives Matter's Toronto chapter, had to say about white people in a Facebook post a few years ago. Whiteness is not humanness, she posted. In fact, white skin is subhuman. White people are recessive genetic defects. This is factual. White people need white supremacy as a mechanism to protect their survival as a people because all they can do is produce themselves. Black people, simply through their dominant genes, can literally wipe out the white race if we had the power to, she wrote.
Oh, facts.
Wrote. Those
that would have been cool if she actually believed any of that.
On the screen weren't typos. Kogali used them in place of A's to make sure that the word N-A-N didn't offend any feminists who might be reading her post. Very considerate, don't you think? So we've got Marxism, we've got racism, but what about the terrorism I mentioned earlier on? Well, here's where it gets interesting. In 2016, Black Lives Matter teamed up with a radical left fundraising organization called Thousand Currents to raise cash and run its back office. And who is Thousand Currents run by? Well, it turns out their vice chair is a woman named Susan Rosenberg, herself a Weather Underground terrorist and suspect in a 1981 armored car robbery which left 1 guard and 2 police officers dead. After evading law enforcement for years, Rosenberg was eventually arrested, convicted, and sent to jail for 58 years on explosive charges. But Rosenberg was let out of jail when she was pardoned by none other than Bill Clinton on his last day in office in 2001.
So how that makes sense? She truly did all that. You gonna pardon her? She gonna get 57 years. She gonna clear all that shit, CIA stuff. Yeah, that would be cool if she actually believed any of that. I'm pretty sure one of them got like a white trans wife, which claims to be a husband. So they clearly don't believe that. These people these people don't care about race anyways. And these people, they'll get their white trans their trans husband, and they be cool. So
Back to what another guest on our show told us a few weeks ago. Former FBI agent Terry Turchi warned us that Black Lives Matter had deep links to radical Marxist-Leninist groups like the Weather Underground from the 1960s. And it's also worth noting that Patrisse Cullors, who talked about her Marxist training in the clip we saw earlier in the segment, was herself also a protege of Eric Ban, a former Weather Underground agitator involved with a number of terrorist attacks in the 1960s, including shooting up the police station in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It's time for everyone to start asking serious questions about Black Lives Matter, a group which, the more you dig into it, turns out to have links to racists, Marxists, and terrorists, and stop letting their supporters get away with moral blackmail.
Candace Owens is the host of Candace. She joins us tonight. Maybe I'm being too soft, but anybody who can talk, America's woke corporate structure into sending close to $100 million on the basis of that lame rap, I respect, in a way.
Time to help people customize and save liberty neutral.
Apologetic in her approach. She's telling you what she's a Marxist. So Marxists steal money from other people and they enrich themselves until people that they stole from are poor. And so she has stolen money from other people on the pretext of a lie that is Black Lives Matter, and she's enriched herself and she's... I mean, you have to kind of appreciate the honesty. She's not hiding by any means, And so, yeah, I tend to agree with you here. She's a communist through and through, and she's been unbelievably unapologetic in her approach.
Before voting, I just want to return to some of the things he said. My crack staff gave me a summary, but I assume it must be incorrect. Was it your testimony that Brown v. Board was correctly decided?
Yes.
Was it your testimony that you cannot say whether Shelby County and Brnovich are correctly decided?
Senator, there's an important distinction that if you will give me a moment of your time, I'd be happy to explain, but that is accurate.
So, was Roe v. Wade correctly decided?
Senator, it is the law of the land and I would apply it.
Was Lochner correctly decided?
Senator, it is not really the law of the land anymore, but if I had been confirmed during that period, I would have applied it.
Was Dred Scott correctly decided?
Senator,
Surely you can say Dred Scott was incorrectly decided.
Senator,
movements have consistently left.
So what's the distinguishing line of cases you will say is correctly decided and cases you won't say? Because it seems like you're willing to say that they're correctly decided if you like them, but if you don't like them, you can't comment on it.
Senator, I do appreciate the question, and I think it is important, and I want to clarify this. As a judicial nominee, I am bound by the Code of Ethics to ensure that any prospective litigant before me knows that they are getting an impartial and fair hearing where they will not be prejudged, where they will be given the opportunity to present their case. I think that it will not happen that a case of the permissibility of de jure segregation in schools.
Candace Owens is the host of Candace. She joins us tonight. Candace, thanks so much for coming on. I mean, maybe I'm being too soft, but anybody who can talk, America's woke corporate structure into sending close to $100 million on the basis of that lame rap kind of gets my respect, in a way.
She has my respect because she's unapologetic in her...
Candace Owens is the host of Candace. She joins us tonight. Candace, thanks so much for coming on. I mean, maybe I'm being too soft, but anybody who can talk, America's woke corporate structure into sending close to $100 million on the basis of that lame rap kind of gets my respect, in a way.
She has my respect because she's unapologetic in her approach. She's telling you what she's a Marxist. So Marxists steal money from other people and they enrich themselves until people that they stole from are poor. And so she has stolen money from other people on the pretext of a lie that is Black Lives Matter, and she's enriched herself and she's brought 4 homes. I mean, you have to kind of appreciate the honesty. She's not hiding by any means, And so, yeah, I tend to agree with you here. She's a communist through and through, and she's been unbelievably unapologetic in her approach.
Al Sharpton must be looking at this and saying, I've done this for 40 years. Where did I go wrong? I don't have a house in Tank.
Right, exactly right. It's completely ridiculous. And you're right, the corporations are standing behind her, which is incredibly interesting. And you pointed to something really important. These corporations are pouring millions and millions of dollars into Black Lives Matter, and you're correct. I said we raised more than $90 million. How much more, we will never know. But $90 million, of which $21 million apparently went to, according to Black Lives Matter themselves, it went to building the Black movement. Like, I don't even know what that means. $25 million going to building the Black movement. Apparently, the Black movement was Patrisse moving herself, a Black woman moving herself into other areas of communities that she claims are oppressing Black Americans. She's fearful of white people. White people are so bad. Well, why does she want to live amongst Black people? Why is she choosing to move herself into an all-white neighborhood? These are important questions.
They are. It's Topanga Canyon, not Riverside County. Really quickly, the looting that we're seeing in Minneapolis was just reflexive. This police shooting does sound like it raises questions of the competence of the police officer. What's going on in the Minneapolis Police Department? Maybe they lower the standards. Maybe there aren't enough cops. Who knows? We should find out, I think. But looting in immediate response to that, why would we put up with that?
We should put up with that, but the reason why we do is because the Democrats see some advantage in this, right? So right now you have a bunch of criminals that love Black Lives Matter.
Hey, ain't nobody said nothing when white people been looting the whole world for fucking generations. Ain't nobody care.
The founder of a Black Lives Matter chapter in St. Paul, Minnesota, revealing organization in a newly published video.
Rashad Turner saying he learned the, quote, ugly truth about BLM and that the leadership shows little concern for promoting the welfare of Black lives, and he joins us now. Rashad, thank you so much for being here. Look, I think we can all agree the lives of Black people. Matt, if you don't agree with that statement, you're a racist. But the organization, BLM, what is the ugly truth that you discovered?
Well, I think you hit it on the head right there. Right? When you call for a moratorium on charter schools, that is a direct attack on Black families, on Black children. The question I always ask folks, how can Black lives matter if Black minds don't matter?
So the organization raised $90 million in 2020, and I'm curious where that money is going, and if that money is going to help Black families, to help Black children.
Well, I'll tell you this, we here in Minnesota, we've got worst in nation education gaps, and based on the data, where we have tons of schools where 4 out of 5 kids cannot read, I would say that money's not coming to Minnesota, right? If we had 90 million, heck, children would be up here reading, our schools would be better. But let me add something here. When you think about that 90 million, where it comes from, BLM has been co-opted. They've been co-opted by teachers unions, specifically at the national level, the American Federation of Teachers, and here locally in Minnesota, Education Minnesota. These teachers unions own the Democrats, they own BLM, and teachers unions, in my opinion, they kill our children's hopes and dreams. So if we're thinking about black children doing what's best for black families, we have to start with education. Yeah. There's not a disparity in this country that doesn't begin with folks not being able to read. So if black lives really matter, we must start in that classroom.
I mean, that's the crux of this, right? For decades, blacks have been prevented from getting the same quality education as whites. It's a fact. It's reality. Why does the education system, though, seem to be allowed to suppress blacks like it does?
Well, it's the teachers unions. I can't say it enough. Here in Minnesota, education.
Oh my gosh, in Minnesota, them niggas don't give a fuck about niggas. Yeah, they do that, the SJW, but really, bro, them whole movements are really just to get you on the back to make them look official, bro. If you have a whole bunch of just rainbow niggas, they aren't certified until they got a few niggas of color standing next to them. These niggas, bro, don't care. They let them white kids drop a million N-words, bro. As soon as somebody say gay, that they ain't even meant for a gay person. They freak. Nigga, fuck.
Education Minnesota is 94% white, yet they walk around acting like they're so woke that they understand what's best for black children, right? But they own our education system. They spend about $30 to $50 million a year here in Minnesota to control what our politicians are doing. I don't know if folks have been paying attention to what our, I don't even know what to call him these days, but Governor Tim Walz here in Minnesota hasn't done one thing, and that's because teachers unions control him. We have to start listening to parents. I mean, there's no way on earth, after these 2 past school years, that folks can think that things like education savings accounts aren't going to be good for families. I'll tell you, there's not one black family in my neighborhood here in St. Paul that has said, hey, we don't want that money to follow our child. Anyone who's in opposition to school choice, charter schools, you're right. I'd say they're racist, right? Because we know that charter schools are creating opportunities. We know that that money that is supposed to be educating our children, that's not happening here in Minnesota. We spend the most money, top states in this country on what we spend on education. However,
hey, bro. I'm gonna just tell you, nothing Minnesota schools does more than creating that disparity gap, bro. That shit's cap. If you really sit there and watch, yeah, bro, it's dead, bro. It's crazy, man.
Out or attempted to erase their contribution.
Started as a riot. It was a riot because black trans people were really protesting the way that police officers were brutalized.
Yeah, bro, I'm sorry
about that. It was a black
that.
trans person and a brown trans person.
I'm sorry, I came in off. I'm sorry, bro.
Really stood up to lead this fight, who started this movement.
March is not necessarily lifted up as being the brain behind a movement. There's no way to disassociate the Stonewall Rebellion with acts and sacrifices of black people during that time.
We are the foundation. We have been here forever. We deserve recognition for where we've been and what we started and what we created.
It's hard for me to look at this, so if you gotta look away, hard for me to look at this, so if you gotta look away, you might have to look away for this.
There's nothing more beautiful than the freedom of black trans people. We represent something that is missing from everyone else. There's a slight antagonism that we experience not just because of bigotry, but because people have never known such a freedom.
Black trans lives are under attack! What do we do?
It's quite easier to deny us access to ourselves as opposed to figuring out all of the things that one must unlearn in order to have their own piece of freedom.
What do we do? Trans lives matter!
Well.
Black trans women are being murdered. Until the conditions of black communities improve, black trans
and that's the same people coming back and they lie. These are people who miss Jerusalem.
women will always be the first to be targeted.
I am a trans person, and therefore I did not create transphobia. Just as we cannot ask black people to undo racism, we can't ask trans people to undo transphobia.
You can't ask trans people to do transphobia. Yes, you can. Because, there's no new thing under the sun, but really, y'all introduced this to the world. And most people were either, they weren't completely against it or they try to tiptoe around it. But you give a liberal an inch, bro.
It's so important to highlight black trans lives because it is a reflection of who we all are.
Any type of representation in the media.
Who we all are. See how they try to make us suspect. Nobody's trans. Nobody. Yeah, you're right. Nobody's straight. You're just in order. Know what I mean? Y'all niggas are just out of fucking order, nigga. Like... Y'all niggas are born...
If it happens at all, it's usually normally about their death.
people to understand what it is to look on TV for the majority of what they see to be reflected back in some version of themselves.
And doesn't we talk about the joy that Black trans women and Black trans men have?
We're also people who are excited to be alive, who are excited to love, and who are excited to contribute to the world and to society. If you are someone from the LGBTQIA community, please make yourself proud, but also love your future children now, so that they don't ever.
Bro, when have you ever seen one of these signs, bro?
A Black woman with multiple experiences. I feel no need anymore to spend my time trying to prove to people that I matter, I exist, and I matter because of that.
This is bigger than us, and we have a great opportunity to really seize the moment for ourselves and also our future. And when we tell you there's no other place for me to be but at the center, that's the only thing that's going to get us closer to our liberation.
No other place to be until she is at the center.
That does not happen during this time of resistance, during the pandemic. We will be here in 50 more years. We'll be right back here.
Oh, back to the other one where she said that being white is like a disease or whatever. It said the priest that shall look at the plague in their skin of their flesh. When the hair is plagued and is turned white, and then the sight is it said, and the plague of the skin of the flesh, and when the hair in the plague turn white, the plague in the sight is deeper than the skin of the flesh. It's the plague of leprosy. And the priest shall look at him and pronounce him unclean. And if there is a spot of white in the skin of flesh, in the sight shall not be deeper than the skin or the hair. The priest shall shut him up for 7 days. And the priest shall look at him in the 7 days, and behold, if the plague is in the sight they stay, then the plague shall spread to the skin. Then the priest shall shut him out for 7 more days. So you have a clean leper, just a completely white person. No, leprosy, blonde hair, white skin. But if you got like spots, you got like white spots, you're considered an unclean leopard. It said 3 gay men who influenced Martin Luther King. They're talking about how they're looking for their part, but hey, civil rights was specifically created for this. This is what civil rights was for.
Hello, my big top brothers and YouTube fam. This is your boy, E-Man67. I want to show you guys something real quick, a quick clip. Now keep in mind, this is going to be painful to watch. But keep in mind, this guy spent $30,000 on this woman while she was in jail. Watch this shit.
My family thinks that Nicole is using me. They can talk all they want, but at the end of the day, if I want to put all my eggs in that one basket, that's what I'm doing.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's stuck in my hand.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. Oh my God, that makeup is on your face.
Is that right?
This is crazy makeup.
This man should have went down to his local community college, nigga. This nigga could have took a girl, bro. But hey, you want to live in a community dorm, pay her rent, fill up her refrigerator, give her allowance, and this nigga could have saved $25,000. Look, might as well. Bro, man would have been better off. I think like the Prophet Hosea just hiring a prostitute. You might as well just go on. This is a shame, bro.
It's real. When I walked out of the prison and I saw Deontay waiting for me, it was the best feeling ever.
This is my heart right here.
Before I got out, Deontay planned on having sex right away. I told him not to rush it, so I don't know why he's acting like so surprised. We're not even allowed to hug in prison. I have not been touched in 4 years. That makes me uncomfortable.
You ain't been touched before?
No, I haven't. By nobody.
I haven't had sex in a year and a half in order to maintain my loyalty and be faithful to Nicole. As far as Nicole having sex, I'm not sure what she did in there, but I think that since me and Nicole have been dating, she has not seen anybody else other than me.
I didn't hit the jackpot. You're fooling me today.
That's why you're today.
And I bet you if she told him that she did something, he'd probably be like, I understand.
This is a woman I'm gonna spend the rest of my life with, so I can wait another day to be intimate with her.
I'll let you look at me in a bra.
I love how this man spent 30K. He's talking about, oh, I'll wait another day. Like, bro thinks it's another day. And this man spent 30K on this woman, and her best advice that you can see me to, bro.
Tell me too.
You can film it.
I don't know if I'm going to stay at your house tonight. I know that you want me to, but I just feel like...
If you want to say you have to.
I just haven't seen my mom in a really long time. Oh my god, this is my mom's house.
Sorry, so we're not still be there and everything.
I think I'm just going to go in here by myself.
So, wait, hold on, wait now.
I want you to meet my mom eventually. When you meet my mom, I want it to be special.
I get that. Nicole wants to take things slow. Nicole is the best decision I've ever made in my life. So
The best
I can see
decision
us, setting up a wedding and everything and get married.
There's a few things that I haven't told Beyonce, but, just because I'm in love with him doesn't mean I don't want to talk to anybody else anymore. I literally just got out of prison. I'm not married. Like, I have a lot of life to live, and, just trying to have a little fun.
She's right. She's not married. She ain't have sex with him. Sex is marriage. The word sex means to cut. You're cutting a hymen. That's not marriage. But we know she ain't got no hymen. But what do you say she was, bro? You guys are crazy.
On this team, keep your pussy clean, then scream.
So,
She a freak, how I put her on the team, keep your pussy clean, then scream.
I'm really in trouble? Yes, Michaela. You just screamed in my restaurant. Okay, but the song said, if your pussy's clean, then scream. So I...
She a freak, how I put her on the team, keep your pussy clean, then scream.
So I'm really in trouble? Yes, Michaela. You just screamed in my restaurant. Okay, but the song said, if your pussy's clean, then scream. So I screamed. Are you serious? Yeah. What? What do you mean? Get out.
Shorty couldn't come up with a better lie. Oh, I saw a spider. I got scared. Couldn't come with no better lie. But that's why, because God deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted on to her understanding. Shorty got no morals. Not only was she didn't have enough shame, she didn't even, she's in the situation due to her own wickedness, her own ways. Shorty couldn't even use guile. She couldn't even think, oh, that wasn't a good one. Until she said really, she had to really be like, Because it's really funny. At least, the one thing, at least about men are really, at least men search for the truth. Like, you know what I mean? They search for, even if they might not find it, they search for what they think is right. Or at least, you're not going to find, or the average, 15-year-old man doesn't automatically, yeah, we already know the Willie Lynch, we know we got young against old, but you can find the average black man. It's not like the average black man. You have normal black men. The average black man knows, hey, at this age, 15 or 14, I do not understand exactly how the world's supposed to be built. You go to these women be 12, 13-year-old, and she thinks just because they're 12, 13-year-olds, she understands what it's like to be a woman, or how women are supposed to be, who the perfect man to be at 13, 14, 15, and it literally bends to her own ideals.
Black women, y'all have to do better. This right here is so embarrassing for the black community. Stop being fucking thoughts and do better. Black women, y'all have to do better. Black community. Stop being fucking thoughts and do better.
That's the Jake woman.
got too much information today to be running out here without any protection. And speaking of protection, I'm going to go into the next. You got too much information today to be running out here without any protection. And speaking of protection, I'm going to go into the next important point. I'm going to go into the next important, because protection came up, so I'm going to get to the super chats right here in a minute.
This is how you bind a strong man.
Of protection. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about child support. Let's talk about child support. That we're talking about protection. Let's talk about this roar. You know what a roar is, right? Let's talk about this guy right here. See, this is Eddie Murphy, a millionaire, a great comedian. He has all the money that he needs. I think he's married to but now, previously, before he was married to, he was in a relationship with Mel B. And if you don't know who Mel B is, she is a singer, or was a singer from the group The Spice Girls. She was known as Scary Spice. In her 20s or her late teens, she went out there and he shook her tail for money. I mean, I wouldn't call it singing. She was a performer, all right? She was basically an upgrade from a stripper, all right? That's basically what female recording artists are. They basically...
It's a singing whore. That's what she is, singing whore. An enchantress. What? Enchantress, enchantress or an enchantment goes back to the word, what? It's casting a spell through singing. That's really what these girls are, these Beyoncés, these Rihannas, these SZAs. They're whores. They're singing whores. And they cast a spell over our nation to put these women in strong delusions to where it's not like, see how the average black man, you know what I mean? If I listen to rap music, I might even play around listening to rap music, fantasize about like shooting people. That's still different than like gangbang, right? Or I'll fantasize about the drug dealing, this lifestyle. I might live vicariously through my rappers, but at least I have understanding that this is entertainment. If I were to go live like this, it'll come with real consequences. And I understand that, and the average black man understands this is just entertainment. You know what I mean? It's just a form of entertainment. Yeah. Bro, you'll hear some basic shit that is not even like a complete sentence. You listen to these girls, you listen and be like, oh, fucking for the check, these bitches have facts. Oh shit, real shit. Like this shit really just be dumbing girls down, bro. And I be watching that. You can really watch how, you ever watch in the beginning of a party girl listen to that type of music? And how she come out the end of the party and the type of decision that she make, like being able to experience that stuff in real life, watch a girl play a whole bunch of encore music and watch the situation that she put herself in, which as the type of girl that she is, she wouldn't have been in that type of situation or had the type of courage to put herself in the situation. And niggas almost lost a coochie as a consequence. It's crazy. Like, this is not a joke. And the thing is, man, I can only reach out to you once or twice. I can only reach out to you one time. If I say, hey, bro, like, if I'm gonna go, like a man, as a man, bro, man need to stay in their lane. Men definitely need to stay in their lane. Type of woman we got out here. She might be in that sexual risky position. You go up to her and you try to be like, hey, sorry, you good? She'll fight you. And then when she realizes, oh, this shit ain't it, she'll start screaming and try to be like the innocent girl, but it'd be like GG. But all type of demons that are coursing through the world right now.
That's what they do, right? But Mr. Andy, I won't have, is now experiencing the pain of the results of him roaring all up into this woman. See, what he did was he got a couple of pieces of peace leaf from this woman. This woman claimed that Eddie was the love of her life. And somewhere in her 30s, Eddie got with her. Now, as a result, they produced this young child who is now in the age range of between 11 and 14, let's just say. And now, because of it, he never married her. And this is going to be what you have to understand, guys. If you bust inside of a woman that you never married and she keeps that kid, you are worse than the guys that are at divorce court. You're worse. You're about to feel some pain. It's going to be painful for you because you don't have what the married guys have in relationship to the children. You were already a proven provider, so you get a little bit more leeway in custody battles sometimes. If you never married her and you go to custody court with an unmarried woman that you busted inside, good luck. And this is the plight of the black community. Guys, you got to stop busting inside of these women. Please stop roaring inside of these women. If that's one thing I would tell the community to do, I can't tell the black woman to close her leg because she naturally wants to open them up. All right, she will not stop opening her legs. I can't stop them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch my game up now. Guys, stop busting nuts in these women. Please stop it. You are killing yourself because now in this situation, Eddie Murphy is in a baby that he produced in 2008 that he later tried to, because he had a child out of wedlock, he now tried to prove that he was not the father. He tried to take her to Maury Povich court. Here we go. I got somebody. He's trying to say I'm wrong about the entire information on divorce and custody. Oh. All right. And I gave him an opportunity to come in here. He says I'm wrong. All right. We're going to send everybody to his channel. I want you to make a response video on how I'm wrong about this. Because I went through it, and I've seen plenty of people go through it, but I'm wrong. Anyway. In this situation, and I provided evidence, all right? I provided evidence and statistics. But in this case, Eddie Murphy, who tried to go to Maury Povich court, he tried to prove he was not the father. And in fact, he was the father of this situation. He got rung up for $25,000 in child support per month. Was I wrong about that? Okay. Was I wrong about the divorce retainer? What? Please specify. Please specify. Because the monkey simps will come in here and try to lead you right into the plantation pasture. Oh my God. But Eddie Murphy got rung up with $25,000 per month in child support to a woman he never married. See, every time you bring in a child out of wedlock, what you just created is a future slave. Look at the community. You've created another simp. Look at the community. You've created another publicly schooled.
So, and the funny thing is, he took care of her, had a kid with her, and she wanted to take half of his stuff. All of a sudden, she could be like, even though we never had a wedding, we're married. And he could be stuck with a bill of having to go to a divorce to a woman that he never married. But even though he taking care of her and he raises his kid with her and provides everything now, she's not going to be, he can't go to his court like, oh, sorry. Well, he can't go to court and be like, hey, judge, we're pretty much married. You know, so please give me all the benefits as I would as a man divorcing would get in this situation. So he's not even getting the benefits. He's not even getting the benefit of divorce. When in the same situation, the story could get the benefits of divorce without marriage. But it don't work for like that, man.
A victim.
Binding the strong man.
A victim. You've created potentially a future prisoner. You've created another future single mother. This is what you've done with this cycle of ejaculating in these women. This is what you just done. But you wanted to feel good when she whispered in your ear because you trusted her. Oh, I'm on the pill. I got an IUD. I'm on the patch. Right before all of that blood and that seminal fluid has built up right in your baloney pony. Right before you explode. Right before you think, I should pull out. Right before you think, oh, I forgot the condom. Maybe I should. Right before you think, she won't get pregnant. Maybe she's not ovulating. You roll the dice. You roll the dice. You don't put the condom on. You let her succeed thinking she ain't going to do nothing crazy with it. See, before, you don't have post-nut clarity. You got pre-nut non-clarity. So you're feeling good. You're pushing and shoving. You're about to roar. And your better mind is telling you, don't roar inside this woman. Your better judgment is telling you that. But your baloney pony is doing all the thinking right now. And you're pushing, shoving. It's feeling good. She's giving you feedback. And she whispers in your ear, go ahead, daddy. Let it roar. I want to feel it. She already a single mother and you're about to do this. And you roar, you bust. Guess what? Look at Eddie Murphy. $25,000 per month. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. Mel B currently is in financial trouble because of this whole lockdown situation. Because she's aged out. She's over 40. Who wants to see a 40-year-old shake her rear end? Who wants to see a 40-year-old shake her rear end? She's not 20 anymore. She's not 18. So she's not making a lot of money. She's 40 plus. You guys I already told you about the chart about women approaching 40 and above. They're going to lose all their means and they don't want to work anymore. They're going to start losing money. They're going to hit the glass ceiling. They're going to start looking for rescue plans. And here's Mel B in her 40s, financially mismanaged her life. She's about to go broke. And who is the one person that...
And watch people who take who are going to take the juice to live, to continue in Babylon, people who are going to take the Karagma. Watch these 40-year-old women, bro. Even though this world's collapsing right now, watch these 40-year-old plus women in their escape plans. They're not giving this to society up.
When she gets in a financial pickle. That's right, baby daddy. And this could be you guys, your baby daddy. See, since he put a baby in this woman, she can forever take resources and have access to resources when she's tapped out. When she's tapped out, she can go in and get some resources. Oh, I ain't got no money. Let me go see what baby daddy's doing. This is very typical of the strong and independent. This is very typical of the stunning and brave. When they run out of time, when reality slaps them in the face when they hit the wall, just like Mel B. Now Eddie Murphy, who was Mel B's love of her life, now that he cannot no longer be available, now that he is now remarried or engaged to a woman, an Iron Board variety blonde, Eddie is stuck at the mercy of Mel B whenever she runs out of money. And now she's broke. And let's just be honest, this child support system is a big scam. It is extortion. And not only that, who needs more?
And if I think he's referring to her being a gender bender. And hey, this is how you literally buy the strong man so much that I'm talking about. Hey, women, this is really your eraser. When these men think, oh, I could deal with all these issues, instead, I could just get a trans woman. Pretty much the same. I ain't got to deal with none of that. Oh no, they probably don't have periods. They don't have a child. Y'all women is done. Y'all women is done. When these niggas would rather say, hey, I'd rather be emasculated, be made fun of, for being with a trans woman than have another child support. Go look. This is what y'all create.
To raise a kid. Child support is essentially 304 support. When you're talking about above $25,000 a month and she's in financial trouble and she can't support the kid, why doesn't the mother say, hey, Dad, why don't you hold on to the kid until I pick up the pieces of my life? Nope. She says, I need to get more money from you. And I'm going to use the fact that you used to bust inside of me and I trapped one. I'm going to use that fact to continue to extort money from you for as long as I need to. Now, gentlemen, it's not until she's 18, the kid. It is until the kid is whenever. The kid's going to get married. The kid's going to go to college. The kid's going to need a prom dress. The kid's going to need a wedding dress. And all of that is going to fall right into your lap. And she's going to shame you if you don't give the money. But the system is designed for this very thing. So going forward, guys, if this happens to you and you bust nuts in these women, this is what's going to happen to you. And I'm just going to go, it's your fault. The same thing these women say, well, you busted inside of me, it's your fault. I cannot disagree with them anymore. It is your fault. And there's going to be a simp that comes in here and tells me that I'm lying, knowing damn well that there's way too much evidence out here to prove that I am, in fact, telling you the truth. But you're too dumb to figure it out, and you hand over the keys to your future earnings every time you bust it up in one of these women, one of these Instagram thoughts, one of these women that you meet online that you've done no due diligence about. I know it feels good when you do it, but you took her word for it and you lost. Now you got 18 years plus of this woman continually patting down your pockets via the legal system. If you didn't marry her, she's going to keep the majority of the custody. Good luck fighting for custody in the family court. And you didn't marry this woman. Good freaking luck. See, the problem is, what happens is, you bust inside of these women. She keeps the baby. We call it trapping, but it's not trapping because you were dumb and you busted in her. You got to take the responsibility. But what happens is, she does what we call the Iggy Azalea. She does the Iggy Azalea. I'm going to be a single mom. I don't need you in my life. I'm going to take care of this kid. And you go, okay, this sounds like a good deal to me because I can go out there and I can chase more hoes. I can get more peace leave and I can go make money. I don't have to take care of the kid. She's going to take care of the kid, and she's going to act like she's taking care of the kid all on her own. I'm strong and independent. I don't need no man. I'm going to do it by myself. I'm going to raise this kid on my own. Blah, 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 blah. But what's going to happen is she's going to do that for about a year, and it's going to get hard. And in that year, she's going to see you out there stunting on Instagram. She's going to see you out there frosting. You got a bracelet. You got the big fancy watch. You got the nice belt. You got the jeans and all that stuff. She's going to see you with a lot of hoes all over the gram. She's going to watch your Instagram, and you're going to be posing in, with your shirt off. You're going to be posing with money to your ear. You're going to be traveling. You're going to be doing all of this stuff all on your Snapchat, all on your Instagram story, and she's going to be following you. She's going to see you with hoes. She's going to see you buying cars, drinking Cristal, all of that. She's going to see it. She's going to watch it. And all the time, meanwhile, she's broke as a joke. The whole time, the grandma that her mom, the kid's grandma, she's going to be tired of taking care of those kids while she's going out there riding the carousel. She can't find a man because she's tainted herself because she's a single mother. She's no longer in the category of being selected. And the baby done pooped through a month's worth of diaper in two weeks, all right? So now she needs more diapers. She gonna see you stunting on the gram. She gonna see you putting your baloney pony in more hoes. Guess what's gonna happen next, guys? She about to drag you. She about to drag you, and rightfully so moving forward. She about to drag you via the family court system. See, once she puts this system on you, she will realize the mega power that she holds over you, and there will be no turning back, gentlemen. She will never relinquish this system from you because it will give her total power and control over you. Okay? Now, here's the deal. She's also going to get, as a reward or benefit for attaching the child support system on you, she's also going to get access to social welfare programs as a result of the Department of Child Support System case. She's going to get access and discounts to child care. She's going to get WIC. She's going to get rental assistance and rental vouchers. She's going to get job placement. The list goes on and on and on. All she had to do was give them your social security number. All they had to do was find the last available address, send you a case number, and then have you respond or not. Therefore, now she's got you. and you're going to try, as a result, to get more custody of the kid. Because you're going to go, oh, wait a minute, you said you were going to raise a kid on your own, but now you're not. So 2 years later, after she puts a case on you, you're going to be like, well, give me custody. Because you're going to try to relinquish the pain. You're going to try to prevent the pain that she's putting on you by trying to get custody. But see, it's too late. She knows that if she gives more custody to you, she loses out on money. And she simply is going to tell the court he only wants custody to prevent paying child support. It's a game that once you nominate yourself for and volunteer yourself for, once it starts, you can't back out now. See, you didn't fight for your parental rights when the baby came out of her peace leave. You didn't do it. You let her go ahead and take the kid over there, and you went to chase hoes. Now she watched all your pockets. She watched your Instagram stories, and she sees you stunting. And now she about to cook your goose right now. Your goose is about to be cooked. She got you. And now you're going to be crying. Because the first hearing that you go to, you're going to see the judge, and you're going to believe it's a real judge. But it's not going to be a real judge. It's going to be a commissioner. And that judge is going to bend you over the courtroom and give you the whipping that you never had. They're going to exercise so much authority over you that you didn't even know your constitutional rights could be violated in this way. You're going to be like, wait a minute, I have constitutional rights. Not in the family.
Because you don't have constitutional rights, because this shit is illegal. The child support system is illegal. It's not real law. It's written in the color of law, so it's not even real law. You know what I mean? It's more about, and honestly, it's more about the judges and the people in the court system getting paid. And I remember my sister was talking, that's not true. I know it's true. I know it's not true. Huh? So, or you just go nut at women and think you can get no responsibility to do that. And my response was, hey, you know Bill Clinton nutting all these women. How many times Bill Clinton paid child support? Clearly there's a way around it that, even if I got hit with it, I could fight in the color. Maybe I might beat it, maybe I'm not. But especially the rich people know that's how it's written. So these Edomites, men, Israelites, under the righteous order, are polygamous. Even in the zealful order, they're polygynous. White men have mistresses. That's different. Black men create communities. White men have their family, and then they go to the hood right next to you, right next to your house, and right next to your house is his mistress' house and his other mistress. And that's how it goes. And the woman that would have been yours. That's the difference between Jacob and Esau.
See, none of the rules of the criminal or the civil court applies in the family court. They can do whatever the hell they want. You don't have a right to an attorney. You don't have nothing. You don't have a right to confront your accuser. None of these things are going to apply in the family court. And you're going to think it's going to happen. You're going to go in there and represent yourself. And you're going to get your ass handed to you. See, they're going to strip your rights, your money, and your future earnings. Your wages will be garnished. Your savings and your investments accounts will be levied. And your tax return will be intercepted and handed right over to the mother, who doesn't have to account for a single red cent on how she spent the money. And you're going to be looking silly. You're going to be crying. You're going to go online and you're going to start listening to the Amin Osiris's and the Christopher Smiths and the Rick W's. And you're going to try to apply, lazily might I add, all of these strategies against the family court. Against hundreds of attorneys that are going to clean your clock. And after she gets her money, she's going to double dip. She's going to find a job. She's going to have money in her pocket from her job. And she's going to collect child support benefits from you. In the meanwhile, the Department of Child Support Services are going to harass you on what's going to be seemingly like a daily basis. And they're going to harass the daylights out of you. And you're going to feel like you're walking around in handcuffs. So you're going to try.
Is this not binding the strongman?
But unless you're self-employed or you're really diligent about fighting the legal system, you really have no hope. They're going to make you comply. And don't miss more than 180 days worth of payments. You miss over 180 days worth of payments, and in some states and jurisdictions less than that, they'll drag you right into court against the Constitution, against debt prisoners, and they're just going to say, you violated the judge's order, go to jail. And while you're going to jail, while you're sitting in jail, eating rotten cookies, eating ham sandwiches, eating government cheese, while you're sitting in there, your child support payments are accruing. They're just compounding and compounding. Your legal fees are compounding. Your back payments are compounding. The tax that the government is applying to your child support payment is accounting. And you're just digging a hole. And all because, guess what? You wanted to bust a nut inside of a woman. Your driver's license will be suspended. The police will pull you over. You will run. They will shoot you in the back. Who did that happen to? Walter Scott in South Carolina. He ran from the police because his driver's license was suspended because he had a child support case and his arrears were so behind that his driver's license was suspended. He ran because he was going to go to jail for driving.
Where Black Lives Matter at?
Driving with a suspended license and back child support. He knew he wasn't going to get out, so he ran. The cop shot him in the back. When you get in there, you're going to fight this legal system that you really have no hope of fighting. It is the worst system that you're going to get put on. And they're going to treat you like the trash, non-custodial parent that she told you, that she told the court that you were. When she starts this system on you, she will not let it go. You're either going to have to fight the system directly or you're going to have to crawl on your hands and knees
and ask her to take you off the system. But let me tell you something. You talk about Slim the Nun. Slim has just died. The likelihood that she walks into a child support office and takes you off, the likelihood that she takes a court order off is slim and none. And let me tell you something, guys. Somebody said just leave the country. Let me tell you something, guys. Even if she tells you, you don't have to pay me any money, and she files a court system on you, and she goes to court and says, well, for the last 5 years, he didn't give me any money. When they decide the case, they're going to put back child support payments for that 5 years you never paid. And don't pay her in cash. Give her a money order or a cashier's check for every payment. If she doesn't have you on child support and she says, I'm taking the kid by myself, give her money and save the receipt. Because they're going to go back 5 years and say you owe $1,000 a month, and we're going to backdate it from 5 years ago, and you're going to have to owe 1,000 times, what is that? 60 months. That's 60 grand that you're going to have to owe, and then $1,000 a month going forward. But you guys want to listen to the guys that tell me that I'm lying to you. I am not lying in any. I didn't tell you one lie in the show. Now, here's the deal. How did you get involved in this? How did you get involved? You got involved because you busted a nut in a woman. You got involved because you got down on bended knee and you volunteered yourself to marry. You got involved because you didn't hire a private investigator and you trusted the word of a woman. Oh, I'll never do that to you. I'm not toxic. Yeah, I have a tattoo sleeve on, but not all women with tattoos are bad. Yes, I got colorful hair and I got a bull nose ring, but not all of us are bad. Just some of us. Not all single mothers will do the same to you. Just because I'm divorced doesn't mean I will do it again. And guess what? She did it. And now you're having to pay. You're going to pay, and it's going to be painful. And this, gentleman, is happening more than the loving videos that are on Kane Brown's channel talking about worship her. You know that country musician Kane Brown? Worship her? Guys, you're going to be on your knees begging more than you're not. And that's just the reality of the situation. You can doubt me all you want. You can call me names all you want. I just gave you the damn golden keys, as my brother told you. I just gave you the golden keys of information that very few men will tell you because of how it's going to make you look.
Eddie Murphy knows he's an Israelite. He knows. Yeah, he says, he said he never faced racism in the industry, even though he tried to make an all-black movie, and they refused, and they forced him to put a white role in Coming to America. And clearly, this man folded in Coming to America 2, made the worst Egyptian movie ever, bro. Like, it was a good movie. In parts of, like, it had a good example in the sense of, like, you know, for the Israel you could see in the movie, you know what I mean? A king being groomed in the way of, a prince being groomed in the way of a king. It's beautiful, you know? And especially coming as an Israelite, you know. That was a lot you could relate to, but, you know, a lot of this movie stuff is Israelite mocking, because, you know, a lot of it was a lot of Egyptian worship and bowing to the women. But man's know he's an Israelite. Look how he lives. He don't care. So now that he denies the Lord, he must bear the indignation from his woman. And yes, his woman will be, or will most likely be trodden down like somebody on the street.
Women, and I'm bitter, and I can't get a woman, and I'm gay. They're going to go through all of the names and call me all of these names. One person tried to call me a liar, but he's out of his mind. The reality is, I gave you so much golden information, and I gave you countless example after example after example. And the reality is, that's how it goes down. This guy right here, Jayla, says, I was a child support worker. Everything CGA is saying is fact. Do not play with this system. Listen to Coach Brothers, please. Thank you, brother. I mean, there's got to be one person in here not on his emotions. Everything I just told you was a fact, and it could and it will happen to you. You can doubt me all you want. You can roll the dice all you want. You can listen to a PUA, fast car driver, all you want. The minute you put your baloney pony inside of this woman, the minute you slide a ring on her, you just volunteered yourself for this particular situation. And now in 2020 and beyond, I'm no longer listening to sob stories.
And if you said anything wrong, the one thing was actually, yeah, if you marry a woman, it's divorce, it's child support plus alimony. So you're effed either way, bro.
If you got married anywhere after 2020, if this and you busted another side of the woman after 2020, and this happens to you, you chose this to happen to you. We can no longer keep blaming these women, right? All right, I'll take that down. Let me get to the super chats.
See? And what it says? It says Eddie's monthly child support is more than my military assignment.
This past year has not been easy, to say the least. So, as a family,
we've decided to skip some old rules and routines.
like skip making my bed? Fine. Yes! But Dwayne and I decided not to skip the doctor for our kids.
Doctors are doing a lot to keep their offices as safe as possible.
Thank you. Talk to your preteen's doctor about scheduling their well visit and recommended vaccinations. Let's go.
She was about to get the jab. See, skipping the old routines. Skipping old routines, I don't know, like gender norms. Hey, so just remember. It said, and the Lord said, it's not good for man to be alone. I shall make a help meet for him. Because that's the original rule. The rule is to be a help meet to the man, right? So then the serpent was more subtle than any beast in the field, which the Lord Yahweh, Yahweh thy power, had made. And said unto the woman, he shall not eat any garden. You shall eat of every tree of the garden. And the woman said unto the serpent, we must eat of the fruit. We must eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, thy power, hath said, ye shall not eat, neither shall he touch it, ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, you surely not die. For BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, both know that in that day ye shall eat, knowing that in that day ye eat, therefore then your eyes shall be open, ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And only the Israelite man was meant to come in the stead of God. Said, and when the woman saw, so let's prove it. So it was, I have said ye are all gods, I said ye are gods, and all of you are the children of the Most High. And what is Let's go to gods. Biblical usage. Rulers, judges, divine ones. Angels got 100 for KAL HALAL YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. 144. And it's great as I'm going into this. And it says, ye are all children. What's the word children? You know, it's a made up word. Ye are all children, son, grandson, child, men in group, son, male, child, grandson, child. So this is men. This is referring to men. Because why would he be telling them the same thing? Then ain't not happening. Of course. Why would he be telling someone who's God, you would already be like gods? He didn't come to Adam, because this is what Adam was already promised by Yahweh BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. Said that these would be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw the tree was good for food, and saw it was pleasure to the eyes, and the tree to make the tree to be desired to make one wise, I never know a fruit to make a person just smart. She took the fruit therefore and did eat, and gave it to her husband to eat. This is this doctrine, and he did eat. Their eyes were both open. This man broke the order, man. He called the fall of what did he say? What was the word? He said and the Lord said, God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, above all beasts, and upon thy belly thou shalt go into the dust, thou shalt eat all days. That's pretty much the Edomites are doing. I'll put enmity in you, between you and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, thou shalt bruise the head, and thou shalt bruise the heel. We're talking about Jacob and Esau. Between the serpent seed and her seed. Because, you know, her also being, is Eve is the representation for Israelite women. You know, Eve could also be a representation as the Israelite man, and Adam being Yahushua. Upon the woman I said, I'll greatly multiply her sorrows, and thy conception sorrow shall bring forth a child. They shall desire her to be thy husband. He shall rule over you. So in the beginning, Adam was a god. The Adam was naming all the things that creeped upon the earth. Right? He shall rule over you. This was not a punishment. This was a reminder. He was already a god. Because Adam is Yahushua. Women coming out of order, bro. It says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, shamefacedness, sobriety, not in broad hair, or gold or pearls or costly arrangement. A woman will tell you everything what you have to do to be a righteous man in the sight of really her, not even in the sight of the Lord, because she don't care because what the Bible calls us for us to be men, but which becometh women professing godliness within good works. Let all women learn in subjection. I suffer a woman not to teach or usurp authority over a man and be in silence. For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being in transgression was deceived. Notwithstanding that she shall be saved in childbearing, if she continue in faith and sobriety and holiness, or she continue in faith and charity and holiness with sobriety. Isn't crazy? Her punishment is the way that she would be saved, that she would bear it. Or you're going to have more humbleness than Eve, and a lot of these women can't. And look at the movement that they be putting. That they be putting. Got you. Right here. So interesting. So this is where we get our stuff from, bro. These people brought their own god to our own worship. African god of Canaan. And America is the new Canaan. They used to call America Canaan. Because Solomon Yahushua would have his I think Hiram the Canaanite. He would have him make trips to not every year, make trips to America to go get like certain things that were only here, you know, and like animals and gold and plants, or animals, gold, and like, you know, food and things that just couldn't get over there. See, and it greets the Rockefellers. Isn't that the crazy part? They're cool. They just look. They got us all. They got us all Satan worshippers. You know what I mean? Turn us all into Baal worshippers. Crazy. So I don't know if they changed the definition where Israelites would be referring to the women. There's a comment saying that women were devils. It says from the start, Black Lives Matter has been about LGBTQ laws. Oh, bro.
We were protesting for
My
Black
bad, bro.
life, and that's really important. These are protests for the life of Black people. Black Lives Matter! 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 Black Lives Matter!
I'll just speed it up, bro, all the way. My bad, bro. My bad, my bad,
People from all walks of life are looking around and saying, this is not the type of country I want to live in. I'm tired. I don't want to be part of a society that allows unarmed Black people to be killed every single day by police.
Is that a trans person right there? No.
7 years ago, when we said Black Lives Matter, people were saying, why? People were questioning. We have a Black president. Why do we need to say that? Didn't we get rid of those things? Did racism go away? People were saying, why not all lives matter?
It says from the start, founders of Black Lives Matter have always put LGBTQ voices in the center of the conversation. So it's funny how they say that they are unincluded in an organization that has always been about them from the start. See the irony of that? This is coonery, bro. This was meant for a different video, but this is what happened when the mail was destroyed.
At first, I told Carlos that I'm sorry, I don't know how you even react to this. I'm your mom and you're my son, and I am falling in love with him. He said, "Are you really?" I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "You know what? I was scared to let you know too. I am too." He was too, falling in love with me, with his mom, and I was falling in love with my son. And then we ended up talking, and we took off to the park, and we ended up asked him, "Will you ever date your mom?" He said, "Will you date your son?" I said, "Honest truth, yes, I would. Because 19 years, you're the best thing that ever happened to me, and I really want to be with you the rest of my life." At first, they didn't like it. Then they be with them. It's kind of hard right now, but I don't care what people say, because we're going through a lot right now. We try to keep it a secret, but we couldn't do it no more, because, you know, my other kids found out. At first, they didn't like it. Then they started liking it. She called me.
Okay, did they start liking it, or they just stopped being openly opposed to it and seeing it as less as an obstacle to get whatever they need of their lifestyle that they just are gonna leave it. But you see in her head how delusional she is. She's gonna have to conjure any type of support.
Accepting it, and my mom, my dad, my brothers, my family's accepting it now. This girl found out. So it's across the street from me, and there's a big old fight started, and she called me. She called my son Joseph something and let me know across the street, and she told me I better watch my back because I'm being incest. I'm not being incest, and she was outside cussing me out, so I went and go get everybody out of my house, and she got her family. We got stabbed.
If y'all got stabbed, man, that's not you. Me, if that's happening in my family, I'm not going out there to fight. What? It said, Baal, God worship in the ancient Middle East communities among the Canaanites, what they refer to the Africans, which that means, everyone's from the Levant and people had to migrate, which considered him to be the fertility deity and one of the most important gods in the pantheon. As a Semitic common noun, Baal meant owner or lord. Bow to the image of Baal. You're gonna bow to the image of your owner or lord. Though it's often used in more generic terms. As such, Baal designed the universal god of fertility in the capacity of the title Prince, Lord, Lord of Earth. So that's even when it said you're bowing to the image of Baal. When you're bowing to the three Shadrach, Meshach, is it Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? When the three holy children, hopefully I'm right, or I might be confusing the wrong one. It said the Lord of Earth. So the God of this world is Esau Edom. So it's like bound to the image of Baal. You're bound to the Lord of Earth. It's funny.
Hello and welcome back to Outsiders. I'm James Morrow here with Rita Panahi and Rowan Dean. And today I'm going to share with you some new disturbing...
It said, in whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believeth not, least the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, the Anointed, who is the image of BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, shine on them. See, and when you're bound to the God of this world, which is funny, the God of Earth is can be referred to as Baal. You're bound to this world because we're not praising the God of this world. We're not praising Esau. We're praising the God of the heavens. AHBAD Babal AHBAD. You know what I mean? We got a God. We have a God in the heavens that's so powerful. Like they say, oh, Superman's so powerful, he could sneeze and destroy the universe. Yeah, AHBAD YAHAWASHI, I can't even step in this universe without it. Just being destroyed, you know what I mean? He can't hold his presence. So that's why he created a high priest in the heavens to come down on us. So we could, if we have a high priest in heaven, so we can give spiritual sacrifices, because isn't it better to obey than rams? Alright, isn't it better to obey than just give sacrifice? Is there anything else I wanted to go into? So yeah, I hope this lesson was edifying. KAL HALAL YAHAWAH Bahasham Ruach Kadesh. I hope they hasten the day. Hope the Lord hastens the day.